Title IX of the 1972 Higher Education Act requires gender equity in programs, services, and activities, not just athletics. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied benefit of, or be subjected to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal funds. If a school knows or reasonably should know about harassment that creates a hostile environment, Title IX requires the school to take immediate action to eliminate the harassment, prevent its recurrence, the hardest one for me to accomplish, and address its effects by creating remedies to keep the person as whole as possible. The following UVU codes of conduct and policy are designed to uphold Title VII and Title IX and to prohibit sexual misconduct. They limit consensual relations and protect sexual orientation, gender identity roles, and prevent stereotypes. These include Student Code of Conduct 531, Faculty Code of Conduct 635, Employee Code of Conduct 322, and Policy 162, Sexual Misconduct. Now we need to spend a moment on consensual relationships because it is crucial that you understand the ethical boundaries found in Policy 162, designed to protect students and employees from impropriety. UVU Policy 162 states consensual relationships are prohibited if the relationship includes a hierarchical relation such as professor-student, supervisor-subordinate, coach-athlete, travel leader-student, or there is interference either positively or negatively before, during, or after the relationship to a person's education or career. And why is this? Because that power imbalance, one party controls the income and earning capacity or the education and future income earning capacity of another. This is unethical. So let's talk about the Clery Act. Jeannie Clery was raped and murdered in her dorm room at Lehigh University in 1986 by a fellow student when her dorm room door was left propped open by roommates attending a party and intending to return late. Jeannie's death was a crime of opportunity. Originally, the perpetrator planned to rob the dorm, but when he found her home ill, he perpetrated his awful crime. Jeannie's parents believed she would have been more cautious if she had known about other violent crimes at Lehigh. Congress agreed, and the Clery Act, first enacted in 1990 and amended in 1998, and again 2 years ago, requires higher education institutions to report all crime statistics to current and prospective students and employees. The Clery Act, along with the Violence Against Women Act and the SAVE Act, has made changes for every college and university. The Clery Act requires colleges to report crimes that occur on campus and in programs, services, and activities wherever they occur in the world. Report school and safety policies each year in an annual security report, which can be found on UVU's Equal Opportunities website or the Chief of Police UVU PD website. Issue timely warnings for known risks to public safety on campus. And if we fail to report a crime, UVU may be fined up to $35,000, receive limitation or suspension of federal aid, or incur loss of eligibility to participate in federal student aid programs. It is currently proposed before Congress to increase the fine from $35,000 to $150,000 for each failed report. So it is essential that all crime in progress is reported to UVU PD, and all past crime that occurs in any program, service, or activity, regardless of its location in the world, is reported to Equal Opportunity. This is a list of the Clery reportable crimes. You are not required to determine whether a crime is reportable or not. The best practice to ensure we don't miss reporting a crime is if you become aware of a crime that occurs in any UVU program, service, or activity, whether on campus or not, report it to UVU PD and/or the Office for Equal Opportunity. Reporting a crime for Clery recording purposes does not require that person to file criminal charges. This is an important distinction to remember. The Campus Sexual Violence Elimination Act, or SAVE, is the 2013 expansion to the Clery Act. SAVE requires colleges to provide a statement that prohibits acts of sexual violence, a definition of various acts of sexual violence, education on bystander intervention, risk reduction programs, and information on a school's reporting system and disciplinary proceedings. The Violence Against Women Act, or VAWA, is an amendment to the Clery and Higher Education Act. It protects both men and women from sexual violence. VAWA requires colleges and universities to provide an annual security report statement of policy regarding the college's programs to prevent domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, stalking, and human trafficking. Procedures followed once an incident of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking that has been reported must also be included. Let's go back to Casey and Casey. Because you have now learned of a possible Policy 162 violation, a possible off-campus crime, which may include dating or domestic violence. Remember, Casey and Casey live in the same apartment. And because you're aware of UVU's duty to report all crime that occurs during UVU program services and activities, what should you do? In this case, even though it was off campus, we have the duty to report this crime that occurred on Friday, that you learned about on Monday, to the Office for Equal Opportunity. Why? Because we have some additional obligations to help and support Casey and make sure she understands her options available to her under the UVU Code of Conduct or under Utah law.